Alright, ladies and gentlemen, enough fooling around for tonight. Now, we've got a serious subject to talk about here. This has been a rather popular point of conversation online lately, but the Mandela Effect. Now, if Mrs. Bat-nonymous was smart, she might show her face in this at some point. Many of us, she and I and some of the people that I've talked to, remember Nelson Mandela dying back in the 80s in prison in South Africa. Well, things changed somewhere because I don't know if you know much about the Mandela Effect, which I'm sure you do because everybody talks about it. You know, Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia, Pikachu with the black on the tail or not. You know, Mandela himself dying in the 80s or dying in the 2000s or whatever. But something changed. And this all goes to CERN. And, hi there, Mrs. Bat-nonymous. We're trying to do a little serious, and now she shows up. Anyway, I don't know what you believe as far as the Mandela Effect goes, but I think that CERN is directly involved. Because before 2012, when they fired up for the first time, excuse me, none of this was in question. I was going to bring somebody on to sit here and talk with me about this, but, I couldn't get him here. One of these days, we're going to have an interview with him, and we'll talk about stuff. Now, when CERN fired up in 2012, things changed. It all had to do with the Mayan Calendar, the end of their calendar, and the start of a new age, and, CERN firing up and finding the God particle, and opening up miniature black holes and all of that stuff. Some people think that our reality or their reality got destroyed and, we all slipped into this pocket universe or pocket reality. And some of us remember things one way and some people remember things a different way. What do you remember? What do you remember as being correct? Like Fruit Loops. Was it F-R-O-O-T loops? Was it F-R-U-I-T loops? Was it Looney Tunes, T-O-O-N-S, Looney Tunes, T-U-N-E-S? I remember it as O-O-N-S because, Looney Tunes, Looney cartoons, as opposed to Looney Tunes, T-U-N-E-S, Looney songs, which doesn't make any sense because it really wasn't Looney songs, it was Looney cartoons. And I'm not here to try to convince you that I'm right and you're wrong, or they're wrong over here, or they're wrong over there, or they're right here, or they're right there. Just something isn't right. And if you haven't opened your eyes to see that something isn't right. There's like a convergence of two existences. Curious George with a tail. Curious George without a tail. When I was a kid, I remember him having a tail. Now they say he never had a tail. And everything has changed. Like, now the new one is the King Tut thing. King Tut's headpiece, from what I remember, only had one ornament on the top in the center. And now, since CERN fired up again almost a month ago, something's changed, and now there's two things on his head, on his headpiece, and one does not look like it fits compared to the other one. One is decorative and done in gold and blue, and the other one just looks like it's done in clay. Does anybody else see this? Does anybody else notice this? Mrs. Bat-nonymous, what are your thoughts on this as far as the Mandela Effect goes? If you want to obscure yourself again and come over and actually really partake in the conversation, you can. Otherwise, just speak from off camera. I don't care. What is your thought?
Of course something has changed. It's like we're living in like a different type of reality or something.
Why don't you pause the music so we can hear you a little bit better? Go ahead. Say what you were going to say.
Well, of course I feel like something has changed. It feels like we're living in some sort of different reality or an alternate universe or something. Or maybe, part of a matrix or something.
So something does not seem right to you either.
No, not at all.
How long have you felt this way?
Since they said the world was supposed to end back in 2012, since things were supposed to end according to the Mayan Calendar, and ever since then, things have seemed different.
Things have seemed different. And it's just really, I don't know. What do you people think? Do you think that there's something different in the world that needs to be addressed? I mean, some people say that, it was a different reality that Donald Trump was president. I don't understand. It's very strange, and the world is going upside down and topsy-turvy and everything, and there's far more things that are different than used to be. You've got, I was going to talk about Mandela Effect, CERN, which we kind of talked about CERN, the Georgia Stones. How does this all play in? People are thinking different things, and, you talk to the guy next door, and he's like, no, Fruit of the Loom didn't have a cornucopia. But yet, I remember as a kid growing up in the 70s, Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia, because I can remember the TV commercials where the four guys, you had the guy dressed as the grape, you had this guy dressed as the apple, you had the guy dressed as the fig leaf or the raisin, and, whatever else. And there was the cornucopia in the background. I'll bet you that commercial doesn't even exist anymore. Because people are going to look at me and say, that never happened. But it did. You know, when CERN fired up, you know, some people think that the world ended and we got sucked into a pocket dimension, and, you know, people from another dimension and people from our dimension all kind of merged into one space. That's why things are different. And I'm sure there are some things that are as different to them as there is to us, because, you know, I remember certain things a certain way. Monopoly guy had a monocle. And I'm sure there are just as many people that say, no, Monopoly guy didn't have a monocle. I got a buddy who I'm going to have to reach out to and ask him, because he was big into Egyptology, and he knew a lot about, like, King Tut and all of that. And I want to know what he remembers, because if he remembers a single one, how did all of the old pictures get changed? Unless everything merged together. I don't get it. Are we living in a matrix? Is this as made up as the rest of the world? I don't know. But it's thought-provoking, and it's weird. And keep following us, because we're going to keep digging in on this stuff. Whether it be we're drinking or we're getting high or whatever, you know what, it just makes it easier to talk about these things. Doesn't mean that we're impaired, because believe me, we're not impaired, are we yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. So, you know, I don't get it. Action 5, Nonsense News, where are you? Have you seen anything that's not quite right? You know, I don't know. I don't get it. I look online. I had a Gran Torino. My first car was a Gran Torino. And I've looked online for that particular model and color of Gran Torino. Now, you remember the color? It was like a powder blue color. A light blue color, Torino.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find the exact color online. I've tried, but I can't find the year and the model that I had with that color. Did it not exist? Believe me, I don't think nobody took a picture of that particular model car in that particular color from that particular year. Something's not right. Things are getting weird, and I don't know if it's the New World Order that's like controlling everything and telling us, you know, this didn't happen, or that didn't happen, or that didn't exist, when I know it did. Something's not right, and I want to get to the bottom of it. And if you never hear from me again after some of these videos, it's because I touched on something and somebody doesn't want me to get it out there. So just keep watching. We're going to get to the bottom of it one way or the other. Whether it be by hook or by crook, I don't know. But something's not right in the world. And I want to know why. Because it bothers me. And you know what? At some level, it frightens me. Because it's not what I told it was what I was told it was going to be. Is it what you were told it was going to be?
No.
Something's not right somewhere. Somebody's playing games. Somebody's pulling strings. Somebody's changed something. And I want to know who.
Hey, buddy.
If you've got information, you want to get involved, and you want to help, reach out to me, because we're going to get to the answers, one way or the other.
Good boy.